Perfect.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back over here to the Black Ocean family. You're now swimming in the deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And ladies and gentlemen, I had not intended to actually do a broadcast today, especially on this. But as per usual, being a part of the Voices of New Black Media, I keep close watch on a lot of different things in the news. And this morning, I happened to come across something regarding this case here with the young 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, okay, and this 84-year-old low-life piece of shit, Andrew Lester, white supremacist, all right? Family, I'm going to show you what I found, and it's most disturbing, but I must go ahead and open this broadcast with these remarks to our non-FBA brothers and sisters. Let me be clear on this. None of us over here are condoning what happened to that young man. It's horrible. As I personally view it, anytime that you attack a black child, that's an act of war. It should be considered that to the men of that lineage, okay? But here's the problem that we're seeing. In America, those of you who are non-FBA that come over here, and again, this is not a blanket statement on all black immigrants, but we're going to have to talk about this problem. When you come here, you try to just put your head down, go along to get along. You got your citizenship or whatever, but let me ask this question to you. It's one thing for you to do that. It's another altogether when you accept being harmed and mistreated by white supremacists or anybody. My question to you would be this. Don't you think that in addition to gaining your citizenship over here, which our ancestors helped you have the right to get, don't you think that you and your families have the right to be safe? And when you are harmed, is it not the responsibility of the men first in your lineage to seek justice and punishment for those that unjustly harm you, especially children? That's a question that I'm asking here. I'm not of their lineage, so I can't answer the question for them. But tonight, I'm going to make the case on why they should be making more noise, because, see, this is the reason why you don't see a lot of FBA people putting the capes on. For those of you that are not foundational Black Americans, y'all sit back. And for the ones that it applies to, you know who you are. You sit back and wait on us to go out and do all the heavy lifting, and you just stay in the background while we do all the fighting. Then when it comes to our lineage, we hold the same standard. In case any of you listening to this that are non-FBA think I'm being unfair, we hold our own people to the same standard. We're not going to get out here and raise a bunch of hell. And then after you get cut a check and a settlement, oh, everybody calm down. We all just want peace. We forgave them. And then there's no punishment. See, the reason why we're not playing that game with those in our lineage and definitely not those outside of our lineage, when you let these white supremacists get off the hook, that puts a target and a bullseye on all of our backs. We want these bastards punished. That's what we want. If you're not on board with that, then hey, we're going to let you deal with that on your own. But as far as our people are concerned, whether they're in our lineage or not, we're going to make sure that that's the standard that you held to. See, you have to ask yourself this question. If all it takes for you to be satisfied after blood in your family has been spilled, especially if it's your child, if all it takes is a bag to make you shut up, I got to ask this question. Did you really care about that family member at all? That's a question they're going to have to answer, family. We're going to get into a lot here tonight that a lot of you might not have seen regarding this case. But before we do, let me go ahead and greet those of you that I see joining us here tonight. Let me scroll up. I see Brother Jeffrey Hall. I see Patricia Slade in here. Reef the Watcher. Oh, my first sergeant in the building. What's going on? Some chick named Star. Nook, what's going on? Yo-Yo 103 Queen Anne. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Salute to you. V Mosby, I see you, sister, with the silky legs in the building. My brother CRU Reality. Again, if you have not subscribed to that brother's channel, go over there and do so. That is a brother that can build computers from the ground up. And if you need custom-made beats, that's the man to see right there. Nobody can do it better. Patricia Jenkins in the building. I see you. Diesel Mike, what's going on? Okay. Let's see. I see GB King Harris in the building. Erica Bailey, what's going on? Simply Neat. Long time no see, sister. What's going on with you? Only Pamela's Way. My brother Torian Rain Reloaded. You definitely better be subscribed to this brother's channel. Let me tell you, this brother right here, Torian Rain, he finds news stories that a lot of people don't even know about, okay? So you're really missing out if you hadn't added that to your watch list as far as the voices of new black media. Good brother, solid dude. Let me see who else I see in the building. Sonia Ferguson. I see Matama Robertson in here. I see, okay, make sure I can pronounce this right. Hamam Muk Wakil. Forgive me for butchering that. I know I didn't get that right. Welcome to you, Hamam. I'll just say that. I don't like to butcher anybody's name. I consider that disrespectful. You're welcome over here, though. Salute to everybody that's joining us in attendance over here tonight and everybody that will be joining us. So, family, what I want to do, hopefully everybody can hear me okay, too. Make sure that you let me know if there's any audio issues, and I will get that adjusted very quickly because tonight I want to make sure that you all get this information loud and clear accurately. I don't want it to be any misunderstandings. So let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear. Give me a thumbs up if everybody can understand me. I'll wait a couple of seconds to get that acknowledgement and make sure that all the audio is coming through crystal clear before we get started here, because a lot of this, some of this that y'all gonna see, I'm gonna go ahead and caution you in advance. It's gonna piss you off as much as it did me. But at the same time, they're gonna have to start pulling the line on this. Okay, good. I'm seeing everybody saying I'm coming in loud and clear. Good. Because like I said, they're gonna have to start pulling the line on this. And again, I'm traditionally old school, and it's the natural order of things also. It's not just my upbringing and my traditional standard. The men are supposed to be out front as the protectors. And when it comes to anything threatening your group, you're supposed to be up front. You're going to have to toe the line and pull your own weight. You can't just wait on everybody else to do it for you. So with that said, I'm going to open up the broadcast with this news report that I found. Family, I'm going to tell y'all something. This is one of the most sickening things that I have ever seen in recent, in addition to many others. But what's most sickening about it to me, and time will tell, if the people of that boy's community, and we're talking about the black immigrants, don't come together and raise holy hell about what you're about to hear in this report here, I'm going to tell you, man, that means that something is broken in that class of men that's just not going to be fixed anytime soon. Again, I'm going to say it one more time before I let this report play. When the children of your tribe are attacked unjustly, that is an act of war. There's not really supposed to be no whole lot of talking going on with that. I'm just saying, that's how most of us who are foundational black Americans see it. So with that said, family, I want you to brace yourselves because in case you hadn't heard this news report yet, I'm gonna put a couple things in context, and I'm gonna come back with my commentary and let you know my issues with this.
Just minutes ago in the shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl.
The Clay County prosecutor now says this crime had a racial component. Here's what we know. 84-year-old Andrew D. Lester is wanted on 2 felony counts, first-degree assault and armed criminal action. He is not in custody. There is a warrant that is out for his arrest right now. Clay County prosecutor Zach Thompson says that Lester shot the teenager through his glass front door, once in the head, once in the arm. The prosecutor says that Yarl never stepped inside Lester's house. Yarl accidentally went to the wrong house to pick up his siblings, mixing up Northeast 115th Terrace and Northeast 115th Street.
We have team coverage of these updates. KMBC9's Matt Evans is looking into how the FBI may now get involved.
First, let's go to KMBC9's Jackson Kurtz up in Liberty after hearing from the Clay County prosecutor within the last hour. Jackson?
Yeah, we got a lot more details from that press conference, all in this probable cause here that gives us more details about what happened that night. I'm just going to tell you about a little what's in here. We now know that this suspect is Andrew Lester, that he laid down to bed is what he told police when he was taken into quarters to give a recorded statement. He was laying down in bed when he heard the doorbell. Lester stated that's when he picked up his gun to answer the door. Now, once he went up to the door, he had an interior door, exterior door, opened that. He saw a black male approximately 6 feet tall at his doorstep. He shot twice within a few seconds. Lester says no words were exchanged during the incident and that the male had not been to his house before. That male, we now know, Ralph Yarl. Lester was visibly upset, they say. Here's what Clay County prosecutors had to say.
My message to the community is that in Clay County, we enforce the laws and we follow the laws, and that does not matter where you come from or what you look like or how much money you have. Everyone is held to the same standard.
Now, Lester's whereabouts are unknown tonight. We don't know if he's at his house. We don't know if he's somewhere else. So we're still waiting for him to be taken into custody here as Yarl still recovers tonight after those injuries. Live in Clay County, Jackson Kurtz, KMBC9 News.
All right.
All right. So now you heard that report, right? Now, family, particularly the non-FBA class, if you're over here and you are an on-code non-FBA person, you better listen closer to this broadcast because it's going to be up to you all to get your community's house in order, okay? And I'm using those words with that type of focus because y'all going to have to get your house in order when it comes to this. Let me tell you why. You heard that report. They've given this man 2 felony charges, but let's look at what they gave him, okay? They give him first-degree assault, something that you give somebody if it's a fist fight. If there is a weapon involved, that's supposed to be first-degree assault with a deadly weapon. Number 2, committing a criminal action. Family, you heard them say that this old bastard got up, answered his door with his gun. He claims that he woke up in his sleep. Let's go down the devil's advocate road. He's an old man living alone. Okay, I can understand that you have your weapon when you go to the door if you thought there was some threat. But here's how you could have handled that. See, there's no way out of this. You could have asked who it was. If the voice was unfamiliar, no, you got the wrong house, go away. At that point, it's over right there. You shot through your locked door. The minute that you open it, just because you saw a tall black man, we're going to get to why that's a white supremacist mindset. So you black immigrants better pay attention. You shot through the door. You heard them say that there were no words exchanged. All right. He wasn't armed. There was no threat. But as soon as you saw a big black man, you shot. See, that's that white supremacist mindset. So any fool that's going to come out the gate, like y'all did with that Just Pearly thing situation and tell me, well, that wasn't racist. You got to be out your damn mind at this point. How is it that he isn't charged with attempted murder along with other charges that they would have racked up if this was a black man? See, we're going to go here with it tonight. If this had been a black man that done that to a little white kid, they would have arrested him that same day. Within hours, okay? Within hours. If even that long, if they would have arrested him, they probably would. We know how that goes with us. There is no way that a black man could have done this to a white kid and then be treated with kid gloves like that. But see, if y'all think that's the worst of it, you haven't seen nothing yet. Oh, it gets worse. I have another news report that I want to play for you all. And see, if you are an on-code, non-FBA person, you better listen closely to this report and this broadcast here tonight, because see, we're going to give y'all the tools that you need to get your house in order, because see, that's a big problem. I love those of you who are not of our lineage, who are on code. I love you to life. You are extended family, but only you can fix that segment of your community. Your children's lives are at danger. We don't play about the lives of our children, okay? That's not a game for us. Family, I'm going to play this second part of this report. And I want you to listen very carefully to the words that are said, because I'm going to see if y'all catch it first. But if you don't worry. I'm going to make sure everybody's brought up to speed, especially if you're a non-FBA person. I want y'all to take a listen to this.
Prosecutor Zach Thompson addressing reporters.
I want to begin by saying that my heart goes out to the child and family involved in this case. My goal during this process has been and will remain to be seeking justice for him. I wish him and his family strength and healing moving forward. This afternoon, my office received a criminal referral from the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. After a thorough review of the case file, the appropriate laws, and information gained during the investigation phase of the case, I filed 2 felony counts. In count 1, the defendant, Andrew D. Lester, is charged with the Class A felony of assault in the first degree in that on or about April 13th, 2023, in Clay County, Missouri, he knowingly caused physical injury to PY by shooting him. This is an A felony. It carries with it a range of punishment of up to life.
Let me pause that right there. Family, did you hear what this prosecutor said when he announced the charges? I want to ask my audience a question here. Tell me what's wrong with what he said, family. I want to see if anybody catches it before I point that out. And if need be, you know what? I fact the business so that I make sure you catch it. We're going to run that back. You know, we're going to run that back because, see, this is very important. And we need to teach our black youth how to spot these types of things. I'm going to run this back. We're going to play this again. Then I'm going to ask y'all if you realize what was wrong with what he just said.
County, Missouri, he knowingly caused physical injury to PY by shooting him. This is an A felony. It carries with it a range of punishment of up to life. In count 2, the defendant is charged with armed criminal action. This is an unclassified felony. It carries with it a range of punishment between 3 to 15 years. The state is alleging the defendant committed the felony of assault in the first degree as charged in count 1 by, with, and through the knowing use, assistance, and aid of a deadly weapon. As a result of these charges, a warrant was issued for Mr. Lester's arrest, and bond was set at $200,000.
Okay, now, family. The problem with what he just said, I'm looking over here in the chat to see if anybody caught it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I see my brother CRU Reality. He hit the nail on the head. He said that if convicted, he could get up to life. Not he's going to get life, up to life. So that means there's no guarantee that that son of a bitch is going to spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. And of course, we pointed out no attempted murder charge. There's so much here that's missing that they would have immediately pancaked on a black person. And then the ultimate insult to injury at the end of that. And my black immigrant brothers and sisters who are on code, listen to what I'm saying, because this is a fight that y'all gonna have to toe the line on to get your house in order. Family, I don't give a damn who you are. If you commit a crime like this and the initial evidence shows that you did it. Now, you have yet to go to trial to be convicted, but they know you shot a child. Your ass shouldn't be able to bond out at all. That low ass bond, $200,000, for those of you that are young black people that don't know, okay? If a bond is set at $200,000 or whatever the amount, you only have to make 10% of it to get out. So that means he paid $20,000. He was able to get out. How in the hell would you not be held into your trial? You a threat to the community at that point. So I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. It couldn't be me, because see, if I had kids and you did that to my child, they better get you before they better lock your ass up. You're not gonna be running around here free like everything is cool and I know where you live too. I don't give a damn how nobody take that. Nah, man. I told you. Nah, you see, we built different. We built different, family. I mean, those of us who actually love our family, love our children, we're not gonna sit up here and play with these motherfuckers like that. The question that I have for those in his particular lineage of the black immigrant community, how are you not raising hell demanding that his ass be locked up until the trial? How the hell are you not raising hell demanding that there be an attempted murder charge? You better get to work. I'm telling you, y'all better get your house in order, because see, family, if you think that those two reports that I just showed you were things that are despicable, and you can tell that this white prosecutor, he on team white supremacy. I can tell just by looking at him. They gave that motherfucker them little softball ass charges because, see, we don't get excited when somebody's arrested. You don't win the battle until the motherfucker is convicted and sentenced. That's what you better be looking for. I'm going to play out something else that I found here this morning. This shit made my blood boil. But I'm going to break down exactly why it occurred here. And I warn you, this is going to be disgusting. Some of you are going to throw up, but tonight's broadcast must be done because I'm going to show you what happens when you're on code, when these types of situations occur and it involves a child. And I'm going to show you what not to do when these situations occur and it involves a black child, okay? I'm going to play something for y'all, man, and I warn you, this shit is going to piss you off. But we're going to break it down and dissect everything that's wrong.
We're learning new details today about the horrific shooting in Missouri of a black teenager just for ringing the doorbell at the wrong house while going to pick up his younger brothers. The alleged shooter, 84-year-old Andrew Lester, is now in police custody, facing 2 felony charges for assault in the first degree and armed criminal action. The county prosecutor said there was a racial component to the shooting, but did not elaborate. The incident happened last Thursday when Lester allegedly fired at 16-year-old Ralph Yarl through a locked glass door, shooting him twice and telling him, quote, "Don't come back around here." He claims the teen was attempting to break in. Lester was briefly taken into custody Friday, but released hours later without being immediately charged. Yarl's family attorney says that after being shot, despite bleeding from a head wound, the teen managed to run, banging on the doors of at least 3 neighbors, begging for help. At the third home, a neighbor told Yarl to lie on the ground and put his hands in the air, as if he was the perpetrator, not the victim. Ralph Yarl complied, and then he passed out. He was eventually taken to the hospital.
Family, when I saw that, a different type of anger came over me. I don't have children, but to see that boy in that hospital bed like that and then find out that this low-life, demonic, cowardly slime shot this boy twice in the head, tried to kill him. He found the strength to get up and run to ask for help. Keep in mind, this is a predominantly white neighborhood for you black immigrants that try to tell us ain't no white supremacy. He runs to go get help, and then the other white supremacists, because I'm going to call them what they are, assume that, okay, if another white person shot you, surely, nigger, you must have did something wrong. Bleeding, afraid, not knowing whether he's going to live or die. 16-year-old child. And he falls to the ground and passes out. Now, how he got to the hospital, I don't know. But I'm going to say this. If you related to that child and you doing what I'm about to show you on this report right here, you ain't worth 2 dead motherfucking flies. You couldn't do this to any young person in my family. When I was coming up, the men that were responsible for raising us and protecting the family, you couldn't even get close to the children without them just knowing who you were, let alone do something to us. So when I see this type of shit, the first people I'm looking at are the men. And I'm going to tell you why else. Because see, for this young African brother to be in this neighborhood and not even have an idea that this could happen to him, that means his parents failed him. You bring your asses over here. You were the tether class, and you tell us what's not over here in our homeland that we know. For 400 years, we would deal with these motherfuckers. We know exactly what they're about. You think because you move into an all-white neighborhood that you better than everybody else, you safe, you tell your children you're not like the rest of them, and then this happens. One of the things we are taught growing up down here in the South is you don't never go into no damn all-white neighborhood like that. Even the children of this generation know better than to do that. And this is the most integrated generation we've ever had. But down here, every black parent that loves their child, as of our lineage, foundational black Americans, they have that conversation with their children because that's life or death. Who's to say that when he went to go get help, the white supremacists that he ran into didn't finish the job? I am glad that young brother is alive. He's going to have a long, hard road of recovery. But I'm going to say this again, and you're going to get tired of hearing this here tonight if you find this live recorded and you of that lineage that I'm talking about. Now it's on the men to do something about this. If you sit here with your head in the sand, being quiet about this, we should see you making the news coast to coast. If you don't agree with that, okay, let me go in and light a fire under you. Because, see, we're going to expose the bitch in you tonight if you don't do nothing and you from that boy's lineage. When Peter Liang shot a Kai Gurley, I'm going here with it. Because I'm going to show you why you should be ashamed of yourself if you don't raise some hell about getting justice for this boy and punishment on that damn white supremacist, the proper punishments, which should be life in prison. I know what I would do to him, but I can't say that on the air. You ain't worth a damn when them Asians, who in this country are not known for protesting for a damn thing, when a Kai Gurley was shot from coast to coast, from New York to California, every Asian of every denomination of the Asian class protested for him not to be prosecuted. I will give them credit where credit is due. They got on code and came together for the person that was of their lineage that they were defending. Now, do I agree with the shit? Hell no. He shot a Kai Gurley on purpose. My point that I'm making to you in the immigrant class that are black, if you don't have that kind of unity for this boy from one end of this nation to another, your manhood is in question. Who knows if that boy ever fully be the same again? Think all the trauma he gonna have to go through. It's pissing me off, and I'm not of his lineage, but that's a black child that I see. I can't put the cape on for you because, see, if you the men of that group and you're not gonna stand up, what I look like defending something you don't think is worth defending. It gets worse, family. I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard for me to get through this, but somebody gonna have to see it. I want you to pay attention to the demeanor of this boy's so-called family. We're going to point out a lot of things here tonight because, like I said, I'm going to offend some people tonight. So be it. You know where I stand on that. I tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may after I tell it. I want y'all to listen to how his family signed in this report.
Ralph Yarl is fortunately alive. He is now recovering at home, being cared for by his mom, who luckily is a nurse. Last night, he spoke on the phone with President Biden, who reaffirmed his commitment to fight gun violence and invited him to the White House. Well, today, students and faculty from his high school walked out in support of their classmate, chanting, "We love you, Ralph," and justice for Ralph. Joining me now is Faith Spoon Moore, Ralph's aunt and Ben Crump, civil rights attorney and attorney for the Yarl family. Thank you for being here. Ms. Spoonmore, thank you so much. I have seen your and reposted your interviews on social media and on television. You are such an incredible advocate for your adorable, adorable nephew. Please tell us about him. What is he like?
Oh my gosh, can we just take a second and just acknowledge how much love he's receiving? Because that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like seeing his school, that totally melted his heart today. Like I can't even speak. Oh. Whew. Okay, Ralph is doing really well. Ralph is doing really, really well. He's loving the love that he's getting from everyone. He is, of course, he's not back to Ralph, but he's alive and he's healthy. He's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
No, he is not healthy. A white supremacist tried to murder this boy. Family, I don't know, and I hope that most of you in this chat room gathered here tonight have not experienced what it's like to be shot. But let me tell you something. That would be a lot for anybody to deal with, but especially a young child, 16 years old. Any combat veteran that's ever did an active tour of duty and has been on a live battlefield will tell you that if you have witnessed seeing anybody that served with you being injured that way, that changes you forever. Let alone think about a child having to deal with that type of injury. I don't know about her family, but if that had happened to me or one of mine, my people wouldn't be smiling like this on TV. What the fuck is it to smile about? I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Had this happened in my family, you wouldn't see the women speaking about a goddamn thing. That's the time when everybody you talk to is going to be a grown black man demanding not only justice, but we would define what justice is supposed to be, which is punishment. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be hard for me to get through this. It's sickening just to look at this motherfucker's face with her little peanut head up here grinning and smiling. If you loved your nephew, what is it to smile about? But see, I know what she's trying to do. And again, I know I'm finna offend some people, but I got to say it like it is. What she's doing, she's trying to give her best little white woman impersonation. See, a lot of you come over here and your dream is to get you a Zaddy or a Becky and try to be a little dark-skinned white person. Listen to how she's speaking, the inflection in her voice, these mannerisms. This shit is not indicative of anybody in my lineage. You sound like you don't even have a soul at this point. This is your flesh and blood who was almost killed. And you sitting up here with this smile on your face? Oh, family, look. I'm going to play the rest of this, and I'm going to point out exactly why she's acting that way. And I'm going to show you a lot more that a lot of you probably hadn't connected the dots on, but we're going to do it here tonight. Let's let it continue.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
I have to also ask how his little brothers are doing, his little twin brothers he went to go pick up, because this is a family trauma. How are they doing?
They are very happy to still have Ralph. They really are. I remember when I went to pick them up from the hospital after the incident, there was a lot of but anti-faith, he went for us kind of thing where they were internalizing it a lot.
Yeah.
And I just reassured them, like, it is not because of you, sweetie. This did not happen because he went to pick you up. That is not why it happened. It happened because of a very bad person.
No, jackass. It happened because a white supremacist tried to murder your nephew. See, this shit is suicidal, family. This is why we can't unify with everybody. You don't unify with somebody who's suicidal. You see what the problem is, but notice during this report, you're not going to hear nobody address what the actual problem is. This is unbelievable. This makes no logical sense whatsoever. I'm going to let the rest of this play. Mark my words. In fact, the business, you know what? Let me say this. After you hear this whole report, If you see any indication where they pointed out what the real problem is, which is what I just stated, white supremacy and anti-black racism, correct me. Maybe I'm missing something because I didn't see it. Let's let it continue.
It had nothing to do with it.
Absolutely, 100%. And what was it like for Ralph to talk to the president?
Oh, he loved every minute of it. He's one of those people who's like, no matter what is going on, he's always like, what is the big deal? You know, it's like he's so humble. And when he was on the phone, he's like, it's the president. I'm like, yeah, it is the president. So it was just like, it took him back, but it's hard to explain him because he was so chill about it. He laughed at his jokes. Yeah, they had a great conversation.
Well, we love having.
Do you see how despicable this is, family? What makes it even more enraging for me is this heifer on the left sitting up here with that forced ass wannabe white woman inflection to her voice. Yes, that is forced. That is not how they naturally speak. Even if you've been over here for a period of time in America, you don't sound like that. You're trying to sit up here on the news and carry yourself like you a little white woman. Yes, I'm going here with it because it all matters, and I'm going to prove it here. And then this little dry wig piece of shit in the middle of Joy Reid sitting up here. You sitting up here gushing about your nephew getting a chance to speak to the damn president. If the president wasn't guaranteeing you that justice was going to be produced, what the fuck difference does it make? See, too many of you in that tether class are impressed just by a white person sneezing in your direction. We don't play them kinds of games over here in Foundational Black American Society. And when we see our coons on that shit, we call their ass out just the same. You're playing with your lives doing this shit, though. But hey, what do I know, though? Ooh, I'm going to let them continue talking.
But I also want to play Mama. Let me play Mom. This is Cleo Nagbe, and I'm going to play what she had to say about her wonderful boy and how he's doing.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I talked to his pediatrician, and she said, so the CT said that there is just minimal fragments of the bullet in his brain. And I said, yes. And she's like, how? And I said, I don't know how. And she's like, bless God. And that's all I could say, because if she doesn't understand how, I don't understand how.
Well, God.
That's another thing that's going to sicken me. And I'm going to have to try to compose myself to get through this broadcast here tonight, because they're going to keep invoking God to get the title of God, okay? They're going to keep invoking God all throughout this. Now, I have faith. I believe also. But I'm going to point out what the problem is with this, because, see, that was the boy's mother speaking right there. Family, let me tell you something. Had anything like that happened to me as a child, and that would have been my mother, she wouldn't have been sounding like that. Understand something. This is something that I shouldn't even have to tell a woman, those of you especially that have children, because I'm a man, I'll never know what this feels like. But for most of you who are foundational Black American women that have children and you love your babies, in order for you to get them here into the living world, you had to carry that child for 9 months inside of you. That child was a part of you. That child was a part of your very spirit. Everything about you before that child exited your womb was contingent upon what you did to keep it alive. At that point, once you do give birth to that child and bring them into this world, that bond stays connected to you and the child. So the question that I have is, if somebody harmed your baby that way, and that bond is still in place because that's a spiritual thing, how would you have it within you to speak in such a dispassionate way without any inkling of rage in you for what happened to something that's connected to your very spirit? How would you sit up there and talk that way? See, there's something different about these types of immigrants. I'm not going to say all. I would never say all. But for these types, where your blood can be threatened, harmed, and killed, and for you to just speak as if it's just You talking about, going to the grocery store or something. I don't understand it. But I'm going to have some explanations for you on why this aunt is doing what she doing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to thread a needle a lot of y'all probably hadn't seen here tonight. But like I said, it's going to be up to those of you who are on code, our extended family, to get your house in order. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you let this shit slide right here, it's going to be open season on the rest of you. And you better be extra concerned with what I'm about to tell you. Most of you in the tether class are over there in white neighborhoods. Whatever happens with the outcome of this, if that son of a bitch gets a slap on the wrist or he walks, watch, it's going to be open season on the rest of you and your children where you sitting over there in these white neighborhoods behind enemy lines. Where the hell you think all the white supremacists live? You think that Andrew Lester is the only one that want to do that? I'm just giving you some food for thought. You don't have to agree with me, but you better pay attention to what I'm going to show you here tonight.
That's how. Ben Crump, my friend, my brother, we come together to do this far too often. But in this case, thank God this young boy is alive. Talk to us about this neighborhood, because as infuriating as the gunshot was, the neighbor who put this boy on the ground as if he was a criminal rather than help a child. What is going on, and what happened to the immediate arrest we were supposed to see after so many incidents like this? Why did it take so long for that man to be arrested?
Joy, we all know it. It's two Americas. And when it comes to justice, when Black people get shot or brutalized. And thank God for his Aunt Faith, who went on social media and started making the case, because they meant to sweep this under the rug. And people like Lee and Sean and I followed Faith's lead. And I want to say publicly to her, everybody should have a praying, fighting aunt like you, Faith, to make sure that they never marginalize our children. And
this mush mouth bastard sickens me to the core of my soul. I'm going to say it again. I'm a Black man that has faith, and I believe in praying. But after you pray, there must be action, mush mouth Crump.
Hello, I'm so glad that was people like Faith that praise.
And you sit here, you're not even addressing what the issue is, Benjamin Crump. The issue is white supremacy. The boy was racially targeted and almost killed. And your little turtle head, mush mouth ass is going to sit up here and not even address that. Joanne Reed asking these dumbass questions, it happened to him because they don't see Black children as human beings. They see them as target practice. That's what they see them as, if they're able to get to them. That's what the issue is. And this much mouth bastard is going to sit up here this whole time. He ain't going to even answer the question about what's really going on. If you get yourself an attorney, that's supposed to be your advocate. This spineless, ambulance-chasing piece of shit right here, the reason we don't respect him, again, I wouldn't have a problem if it came in this form. Punishment, then settlement. It can't just be settlement, Benjamin Crump and Lee Merritt. We're not playing that game with none of them. So if anybody try to come over here, well, do y'all LBS? Nah, we holding everybody to account over here tonight. And you gonna toe the line on this yourselves, because see, we've already made our stance clear. If the family is off code, we're not going to bat for them like that. You're not going to have us going out there and then you play us like that. And then when you get your little bag, everything is cool. And now it's target still on our back because these bastards haven't been properly punished. You play that game over there by yourself. We're not playing it with you.
I mean, he was marginalized by the shooter. He's marginalized by the neighbor who makes him put his hands out, even though he's been shot twice. And it goes to this scourge of gun violence where people shoot first and ask questions later. What are we coming to in America when young people hit the wrong doorbell and you profile and shoot them? It happened to Ryan Modell in Florida. I mean, it's just happening far too often, Joy, and we gotta love our children versus profiling our children.
Yeah, I mean, who goes to the door with a gun in their hand because you don't recognize who is that? Who does that? What kind of a person does that? Why no hate crimes charge? And do you expect a hate crimes charge, Ben?
Well, obviously, he talked to the president. Don't know if the Department of Justice will look at it or not, but I know.
Incompetent bastard. Why aren't you demanding they look at it? You supposed to be an attorney. Now, he said, I'm a civil attorney, not a criminal attorney. Okay, if you a civil attorney, not a criminal attorney, then you need to go get you a criminal attorney that handle that business. If they not going to, look, we know as foundational Black Americans that this country doesn't just automatically do the right thing. We have to force these motherfuckers to do right by us. We always have, we always will. Joanne Reed with her little cricket beady-eyed ass sitting up here talking about why there's no hate crime charge. You know why there's not one? Because until the men of that community get their house in order and demand that there be hate crime charges in addition to attempted murder and punishment for this bastard where he spends the rest of his life behind bars, it ain't gonna come. My own co-immigrant family, I love you dearly, but you better understand the seriousness of what I'm trying to convey to you here tonight. You better get your house in order.
Based on Missouri law, they felt that these were the highest charges they could give him. We don't know what those racial the components are yet that the prosecutor talked about. They keep saying there was a racial aspect to it. Well, we need to know that, and that would answer the question, Joy Reid, whether there should be hate crime charges brought.
Faith, I'm going to give you the last word here. Did the police explain to you what they meant by racial component? Because that seems like a very murky thing to say when this is a young Black child and a white shooter. Yeah, there's a racial component. Were they more specific with the family?
No, they were not. We had a meeting today, and it was still just as blurry.
The family is supposed to be telling them that it's racially motivated. I want y'all to pay close attention to this piece of shit over here on the left, his aunt, because I'm going to call her what she is. Pay close attention to this piece of shit's demeanor during the whole entire broadcast here. Pay attention to it. How are you this happy? Why would not the first thing out of your mouth be, you know what? We're going to press them to make sure that there's hate crime charges and that it's upgraded to attempted murder. Oh, but you're just so happy to be on TV because, you know, hey, we're going to show you why she's acting like that, because I'm going to throw something into the ring of this. And like I said, it's going to make me a lot of enemies, but I have to follow the evidence to where it leads. I'm going to thread a needle on why she's acting that way.
Yeah, they attempted to explain it, but it was just as muddy. So, no.
Well, Miss Faith, I agree. Everybody should have a praying, fighting auntie like you. You have been a warrior for your nephew. You are how I know about this case, because I actually think I saw it on Ben's social media, but I saw you, sister. So God bless you, your family. Please tell Mama that we love this young man. If he's ever in New York, we want him to come to 30 Rock and take a tour, or if he's in D.C., he can do it there. What a great kid. I've heard so much about him from you. He's smart, he's wonderful, and he's going to be all right.
Well, you heard that. They couldn't stop invoking God during their discussion. I'm glad that they have faith, but I'm going to tell you something. Faith without works is dead. You better believe that. Let me talk to the sisters out here, and I don't care which lineage you are, but our sisters definitely should know this if you're foundational Black American. If you're a non-FBA sister, listen to this. Instead of you being angry with me calling out them damn cowards, and I'm going to call the men of that community cowards if they're not standing up for this child. Let me explain to you what your role is supposed to be as a woman. First of all, it should go without saying that, like I said earlier, if anything that you carried in your womb for 9 months is harmed or hurt, it is also your responsibility to protect that child. Now, can you physically do it the same way as a man? No. But let me tell you what you can do. When you go in front of the media, you don't need to be talking about your feelings. You don't need to be talking about anything except punishment. First thing out of your mouth should be, I want this bastard that tried to take my child away from me to spend the rest of its life under a prison cell. That is a woman's job in that scenario, because see, they seek you out trying to play on your emotions and get you to talk about how you feel. Okay, nothing wrong with talking about your feelings. We all have them. Channel that towards punishment. We're going to show you an example of what that's supposed to be. But see, I want y'all to take a look at what we're looking at right here on the screen. This is a GoFundMe set up by his aunt, Faith Spoonmore, the little bullet head piece of shit that you said. And yeah, I'm going to say it like that because I don't have no respect for this, because I recognize what's going on. You see, she set this up, and so far, at least as of this screenshot here, it's raised $3,129,220. Okay, no problem. Is it going to be used for legal fees? Most of that should be going towards the boy's medical bills. But other than that, what else is that going to be used for? His mother didn't start it. He didn't start it. His father didn't start it. His aunt started. Now, why am I saying that? Why am I bringing up the point that his aunt started it? Well, family, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm going to show you who she's married to. Then I'm going to tell you what I just recognized. And again, I'm willing to make some enemies behind this, but I'm going to put it out there because I'm pretty sure after I show you, it's going to make perfect sense. Salute to our good brother Tariq for the cash app. I appreciate you very much. But family, I want y'all to look at this. I'm going to go ahead and let this play, and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I see coming.
Speak up when I hop about the car, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna make about the car, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the car, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna make
Now I know I'm finna make some people mad. I know a lot of people gonna be like, GBL, what that got to do with anything? I'm gonna tell you what it has to do with anything. See, unlike most people, those of us over here in the new black media that have platforms that use our voice to speak up for our people, we didn't just start doing this yesterday. There's a reason why most foundational black Americans didn't support and can't stand Black Lives Matter, because what they did, they got a bag off the dead bodies of black people, primarily black men, and you saw what they did with the money. I'm going to tell you what I see, and I'm prepared to stand on what I'm saying. Since his mother didn't start the GoFundMe, his father didn't start the GoFundMe, nobody in his immediate family. His aunt with the Zaddy go start the GoFundMe, it's got over $3 million. You trying to tell me that they not saying, hey, if Black Lives Matter did it, why can't we? Yeah, I'm going there with it. You goddamn right, I'm going there with it. That's why I showed you who she was married to. In addition to the fact that you didn't warn and teach this young boy, his parents, about, hey, you are still a black child over here in a white neighborhood where don't nobody know you, and there's racists over here. You can't go up to any and everybody's door like that. If you got a phone and you call your friend, you trying to pick up your siblings or whatever, you give them a call and find out where they're at. Don't just go up to a house and you're not sure they're there. No. If it was my kid, I wouldn't even want you over there in that neighborhood. But family, I showed you that for a reason. Now, some of you may disagree, but I'm going to tell you something, man. You got to look at it. Why would that not be something a white supremacist? Because I'm going to call him one too. You goddamn right. I'm going to call him one. And I'm going to show you why I'm calling him one too. Oh yeah, we're going to thread all the news over here tonight. Salute to my good brother, Project Leroy, for the cash up. I appreciate you very much, brother. I'm going to show you why I'm saying that about him. Because see, notice, if Zaddy really loved you so much, and I'm going to go on record and say it, the motherfuckers up there that was talking to Joe Reed, you don't love this boy. You don't love him. If you love this boy so much, where you Zaddy at? Why he ain't demanding justice with you? See, I wouldn't have nothing to say if Zaddy, who's married to you, this is your flesh and blood, as your husband, he's concerned about whatever affects you. Why he ain't out there stumping? Why he ain't saying nothing? I wouldn't be able to do nothing but respect that if he came out and he was saying, hey, listen, we want the bastard that shot Ralph Yarl to rot in prison for the rest of his life. I wouldn't be able to do nothing but respect that. I hadn't seen it. If anybody else has seen it in this chat room, do bring it to my attention. I'm going to show you something else, though, that's going to make that a lot more shameful for this family. Because, see, family, I did some digging, and I found something on Andrew Lester. Well, I didn't find it. Let me make a correction. Somebody else found it. I'm going to play that and let y'all see this. This information might be new to some of you, but it won't be after tonight.
So the man who shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarl for simply knocking on his front door has now been charged. 84-year-old Andrew Lester has been charged with first-degree assault, as well as armed criminal action. I believe both of those are felonies. An arrest warrant has been issued. Investigators said they absolutely believe there was a racial component to the shooting. But while all that was announced last night, today the Kansas City Defender is stating that Andrew Lester has not been arrested yet and has likely fled the state, with cops allegedly saying they have no idea where he is, where the 84-year-old man is. Oh, and an extra little fun fact about old Lester here. He was a minister for many years who wrote multiple Christian books. A few noteworthy titles: Anger, Your Spiritual Ally, The Angry Christian, and Coping with Your Anger. Considering the fact that he shot a young man for simply ringing his doorbell, I have a feeling he needs to deal with the log in his own eye before he starts talking about anybody else's speck. There's some good news, though. Ralph is out of the hospital. He's recovering at home, and a GoFundMe that was set up for him has raised more than $2.5 million. So hopefully something positive can come out of all of this. But in the meantime, the other day I mentioned the case of Sinzay Reed. I'm going to repost that video attached to this one because this young man and his family still need justice. October 12th, 5:30 in the afternoon, Columbus, Ohio, an apartment complex. Several witnesses see Craig Butler Sr. exit his red pickup truck, draw a firearm, and fire multiple shots at 13-year-old Sinzay Reed, striking him 4 to 5 times, several of those being in his back. Mr. Butler then got back in his vehicle and fled the scene. The next day, police arrested him, charged him with murder. He's being held on $1 million bond. On top of that, he had previously been charged with domestic violence, and under federal law, he's not allowed to be in possession of a firearm. And then 5 days later, prosecutors dropped the charges and removed the bond and released him. And they did all of that without informing the victim's family at all. When the family did find out that happened and they asked why charges had been dropped, the lead detective told them it's because Mr. Butler and his mother gave statements indicating that this was self-defense. So somehow, from within his truck, that man felt threatened by that 13-year-old child, exited his truck, and shot him multiple times, some in the back, in self-defense. Now they're still investigating, but of course, that young boy's family is confused and wants to know why this has happened. They also said they have no reason to believe Sinzay had a weapon, that he's not known to carry a weapon. So again, how is it self-defense? What kind of a completely fucked system does it take to have this man, who shouldn't have a gun, get out of his truck, fire multiple times, and kill this child? Witnesses say nothing about any return fire, anything, just that he was shot and killed. And then have this guy go, hey, self-defense. And his mother go, yeah, self-defense. And police stand over this child's dead body and say, oh, maybe. Columbus, Ohio. The whole world is watching.
Now, family, you heard what that white man just said. See, I know that there are members of the dominant society that come over here and watch this channel. Some of you actually do contribute and donate. Yes, they do. They do, family. But when you say you want to be an ally to black people, this is what you need to be doing, is what that white man just did. Because see, that other information that he brought to light about Andrew Lester, I did not know that. I had no idea. You all in the dominant society know who the white supremacists are. You want to be an ally to black folks, you don't need to be marching with us. You don't need to be right up under us. We need you doing what he just did. And we need you in these juries seeking to produce justice instead of just going along with your white supremacist peers. Now, we know that very few of you will do this because you know your very lives will be in danger. But see, that's what it means if you really want to be a black ally, okay? An ally to black people. You're going to be in danger, okay? That's why so few will actually do that. I hope that if you're a black immigrant and you're listening to this tonight, you pay close attention to the things that you're about to learn, because see, why is it important, in particular, the information that he released on that pastor, the so-called pastor with them books? That lets you know that one of the ways that they manipulate people is through religion. Because sadly, some of you actually do look at white people as if they're gods, okay? We see it in your homelands where you come from. Some of you even say that if you met a white person, you don't need to go to church because you've already met the Christ. Yes, they actually do say that. Some, not all. That tether class, we gonna make distinctions, okay? I always like to make intelligent distinctions over here. But see, I'm pointing it out for a reason because, see, who knows how many times this old bastard has done this and gotten away with it. See, I'm going here all the way with it. This is why it's so important for that community to get together and make sure he gets put away. Because, see, let me tell you something about these old white supremacists that make it to his age. That's not his first rodeo doing that. You think this bastard hadn't stood around at some lynchings when he was younger? You think he hadn't participated in doing things to black people that was covered up and he got away for it? Because, see, I'm going to tell you why they was treating him with kid gloves. The reason why they allowed him to post a bond and they didn't go pick him up immediately. Notice how they don't want to do anything to Carolyn Dunham Bryant, that old piece of shit. Makes she rot every day that she draws a breath. They don't like to punish the old white supremacists because, see, they revere them. They look at, okay, you done put in work, so we're going to make sure we protect you. See, this is why when they get old and decrepit like that, they make sure that they cash that white supremacy in that they've been practicing all their lives. You black immigrants better pay attention to what I'm about to show you next because, see, I'm going to take this back. As painful as this is for us to watch in the foundational black American community, I'm going to show you what a mother sounds like that actually gives a damn about her son and getting justice produced. I want y'all to listen to how Ma Arbery's mother addressed these people at the sentencing day. This is how you do it if you're a mother that wants to produce justice for your child.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I want to first speak directly to my son, if I please. This verdict doesn't bring you back, but it does help bring closure to this very difficult chapter of my life. I made a promise to you. Today, I laid you to rest. I told you I love you, and someday, somehow, I will get you justice. Son, I love you as much today as I did today that you were born. Raising you was the honor of my life, and I'm very proud of you. Your Honor, these men have chose to lie and attack my son and his surviving family. They each have no remorse and do not deserve any leniency. This wasn't a case of mistaken identity or mistaken fact. They chose to target my son because they didn't want him in their community. They chose to treat him differently than other people who frequently visited their community. And when they couldn't sufficiently scare him or intimidate him, they killed him. My youngest son, he was born on Mother's Day of 1994. He had a smile so bright it lit up a room. He was a greedy baby that seemed like he was always searching for something to stick into his mouth. He was always a loving baby who seemed to never tire of hugs, cuddling, and kisses. He loved, he never hesitated to tell me, his sister Jasmine, and his brother Marcus that he loved us. And Your Honor, we loved him back. He was messy. He sometimes refused to wear socks or take good care of his good clothing. I wish he would have cut and cleaned his toenails before he went out for that jog that day. I guess he would have if he knew he would be murdered. My family is gonna miss Ahmaud. We're going to miss his jokes, his impersonations, his warm smile. These men deserve the maximum sentence for their crimes. Ahmaud never said a word to them. He never threatened them. He just wanted to be left alone. They were fully committed to their crimes. Let them be fully committed for the consequences. Your Honor, I'm standing here before you as the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, asking you to please give all 3 defendants who are responsible for the death of my son the maximum punishment in this court, which I do believe is life behind bars without the possible chance for parole. Thank you.
If you could elaborate on that.
Oh, they acted on him because they killed him because he was a young black man. You see all you see all the races they were doing on their Facebooks and stuff. They didn't hate kids. If a kid black, they hated him. You see what they were saying about a little kid. That should give everybody a wake-up call. You know what I'm saying? The world don't need people like them in this world. They hate black people that bad. It's a bad signal for this whole generation, this whole world. Not just the black people. It affects the white people too.
And to know that their friends who they were communicating with are presumably still walking around.
Still walking around here free. We don't even know who they is.
So they were using this. The last question I have is I noticed at one point you had to walk out while they were reading those messages. Can you talk to us about what was going through your mind as you walked out and why you walked out?
Because I was just really sick that all these years those sick people like that were living around me. And you know, I wasn't worrying about them, but I'm just worrying about our children. Ain't nothing you can do to me what you already done to me. When they killed my kid, ain't nothing else you can do to them all. So they better not get it twisted. Now I'm worrying about my grandbabies and the rest of these children out here now.
Joining us now.
Now, I let that play for a reason because, as I said, the black immigrant community in America that's off code, you better get your house in order. That's how you go before the media and before the courts if your child has been taken from you demanding justice. You saw Ahmaud Arbery's parents, and they didn't settle for nothing less than that. Punishment. The maximum sentence. They wasn't on TV grinning and smiling and joking. They wasn't worried about GoFundMe money or none of that. They was concerned with making sure that the people that took their child that they brought into the world served the maximum sentence. Family, all I can do is show it to them. It's going to be up to them to make the necessary changes. But I'm going to play something else because, see, over here in Foundational Black American Society, we don't forget any of those that we've lost. Since they read what happened to him, I'm going to play this and I want you to hear how his mother was sounding when she addressed the media. Because, see, they're not going to be able to say that they don't know what to do. They've seen us take to the streets to get justice when we're harmed. And they've heard us over here in New Black Media Spaces warning them about these types of things. We warn each other. Being on code is a matter of life or death. I want y'all to listen to this. And if you are a Black immigrant person, again, that is on code, you better listen to this and take this over to your community and start demanding that what's going on with Andrew Lester, y'all better be doing the same thing that these foundational Black American parents were doing to get justice for their children.
Sinze Reed's mother, Megan Reed, and community activist DeJuan Sharp, thank you both so much for your time and joining us tonight. Megan, just want to start off by saying our deepest condolences go out to you for the loss of your son, which I cannot imagine the pain that you continue to feel. It's been nearly 3 months since your son was killed. Just take us back to October 12th, if you will. What was your son doing that day? How did you learn about what happened?
That day he woke up. He told me that he wasn't feeling good. He went back in his room. I was cooking, so I went in the kitchen. I didn't even know he went outside that day. Like, less than 10 minutes later, the neighbors came banging on the door saying that Sinze got shot. And they took Sinze to the hospital. And they told me that he was shot in the chest, which I only thought at that time he was shot in the chest. They told me that they was trying to get his heart to restart for 20 minutes. And then they came back and got me, my mom, my 2 sisters. We went in there. As soon as we went in there, they called time of death, and that was at 6:26.
DeJuan, Columbus police are investigating, but they say that they are still waiting for key ballistic evidence nearly 3 months later. Why do you think that it's taken this long?
I really don't know. Like, I know I received a paper from the coroner saying that it does take like 2 or more months. But as far as I know right now, that my son got shot 4 times that I know of. Once in the chest, once in his right hand. His right hand's with his right with. And 2 times on the side. So even if Craig is trying to play self-defense, he shot my son in his right hand for sure. So that means my son had his hands up. So he should still be in jail to this day, but he's not. He's walking around a free man.
DeJuan, question for you. There are some people on social media who are making a parallel between Sinze's death and the death of Ahmaud Arbery. That's taking, in that scenario, it took months for arrest to be made. Do you think that that's a fair comparison?
I do believe it's a fair comparison, but we can't really do comparison right now. We're just focused on the law right now. Craig Butler, he was the one that was not allowed to have firearms. Craig Butler was the one that opened fire in the school zone that almost hit multiple people. Craig Butler was the one that fled the scene. Craig Butler was the one that had to get apprehended by SWAT. And it had changed off of his self-defense. When we have people in the community, from us just coming out here talking to people, we found witnesses that seen it, that said since they didn't have a gun, that Craig had the gun. And the police is investigating, but they're really investigating us, because after we had our rally, SWAT team hit their neighbor just looking for a gun that they did not find. There had never been a gun, and we don't understand why Sinze is being tried, and he didn't do anything wrong. He was just 13, but a convicted criminal with the illegal firearm firing. When we do have new gun laws here in Ohio, we're supposed to have enhancers. Craig should have just seen 10 years alone just for having the gun.
And so just to confirm, no one has ever said that Sinze had a gun, correct?
No one has said he had a gun. We got the original police report from which they released to the media when that happened. No gun. The city used Sinze's name and likeness when they thought it was black-on-black crime. But when they found out it was Craig that killed him, it was been complete silence. We haven't heard from anyone from any type of policy. I'm just a community activist. I came over here to make sure that she was okay from her losing her son.
Megan, Craig Butler, as we've just been discussing, is currently a free man. From your perspective as a mother, how difficult is it to know that the man who's accused of allegedly killing your son, that he's walking free, living still in the community?
I'm very frustrated because I know if it was the other way around, if Craig was a black man and my child was white, that black man would be in jail and my son would have justice. Or if, since they would have killed Craig, my 13-year-old son would still be in jail. And the fact that he's just walking around living his life, want to go see his 10 kids.
In the same neighborhood, right?
Yeah, he lived, yeah.
Right. We can look out the window and see their home.
Yeah.
If police and authorities in Columbus are watching our report tonight, Megan, what is your message to the police?
I need justice for my son. My son is no longer here. I'm going to continue to talk, and I will be his voice until he gets justice.
We have demands for that. First off, we would like the immediate arrest of Craig Butler. That's it, like for real. And number two is Gary Tyack in his office. We would like them replaced because they're not doing their job. The third is an apology from the city for us having to come out here and do this when it's their duty and their elected official capacity to do these things for us. And the final one is the DOJ to come into Columbus, Ohio to investigate the patterns of practice of the Columbus Police Department and our judiciary.
Well, what have police said to you? How are they defending that they have not arrested him at this point?
Silence.
Yeah. I haven't even talked to the detective on the case since October 23rd when he called to interrogate me, asking me why do I allow my child, well, since then, to carry a gun. Like, first of all, why would I allow my 13-year-old son to carry a gun? Like, that doesn't make sense. And why are you interrogating me? My son is the victim. I don't know what happened that day. I wasn't over there.
Megan, we did not have the opportunity to ever meet your son. Talk to us about what Sinzay was like, what made him smile, what he loved to do.
Sinzay just turned 13, 2 months before this happened. He was a normal boy. Like, he had friends, he went outside to play. He did a normal boy stuff. And for them to, like, try to make him out to seem like he's in some kind of gangbanger in a gang, stealing people's cars, doing all this other nonsense because he's black. That's what it comes out to, because he's black. It makes me mad, like, really mad. Because if my son was white, once again, I wouldn't be in this situation right now. Matter of fact, if my son was white, Craig probably would have never killed him.
Megan and Dewan, we thank you so much for your time. Once again, you have our deepest condolences, and we will continue following this case.
We appreciate everything that you're doing. And justice for Sinzay, justice for everybody out there.
Now, I played that, and you heard how his mother was sounding, the mother of Sinzay Reed. She was demanding justice for her son and still needs to have that take place. See, that's how you're supposed to do it if you love what you carried inside of you for 9 months. You wouldn't act the way that Ralph Yarl's family was acting. But see, this is what they tend to do because, see, I have to bring this despicable moment back to you. And I'm saying this now to the men of the Black immigrant American community. I'm going to play something for you that we haven't forgotten about because it was one of the most disgusting things that we had ever seen as foundational Black Americans, including the actions of Tammy the Mammy Kemp, judge. When I saw this, when my family saw this, we couldn't believe what we were looking at. And I remember the conversations that we had that day, especially those of us who you know, still have our fathers with us in the family. We talked to our fathers and we asked the question, if this ever happened to me. And before we could finish the sentence, the answer was like, you already know. You already know there's no way. See, there are certain moments in history that you don't get to walk back. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who I offend when I say this. Those of you who are non-FBA, when this happened, this was a failure and a stain on the integrity of your community. I have to say it like it is because, see, not only is it a disgrace with what you're about to see, we were the only ones that were really outraged about it afterwards. A lot of you acted as if he did nothing wrong. There's no way that I could grow up with a sibling and have them taken from me and do what you're about to see. I'm going to play it because, see, you need to be reminded of what off code is and why it's actually dangerous and deadly. This is not just a difference of opinion right here. I'm going to play this, and it's hard to watch, but I got to show them where they have led their society and what the results of it is. I got to do it.
I don't want to say twice or for the 100th time what you've or how much you've taken from us. I think you know that. But I hope you go to God with all the guilt, all the bad things you may have done in the past. Each and every one of us may have done something that we're not supposed to do. If you truly are sorry, I know I can speak for myself. I forgive you. And I know if you go to God and ask him, he will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. And I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. Because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not gonna say anything else. I think giving your life to Christ would be the best thing that both of them would want you to do. Again, I love you as a person. And I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please?
Yes.
I'm going to pause this image right here. And I'm going to take this time to say this. This will go down in history as one of the most disturbing, despicable, spineless examples of suicidal cowardice that anyone will ever see in this country. This boy sat up here and said that he loved his brother's killer. See, this is the problem, because if you looked in his eyes, the boy looked like a damn zombie. This is the problem when it comes to misuse of religion. First and foremost, a person has to ask for forgiveness. This bitch didn't ask for forgiveness. All that cooning and buck dancing in the courtroom, and then when the damn sentence came down, that's the reason why. Because they were like, hell, why should we go hard in the pain? The family forgive him. This image right here was forever burned into my memory. I know that I don't have any family members that would do this if something happened to me. I damn sure couldn't do it if something happened to one of my family members. At this point, I would have to ask, did you love your brother at all? To embrace his killer like this? And see, I'm going to throw the question out here. I got to ask. I wonder, would it be the same if this was a black person that killed his brother? Because, see, I'm going to go ahead and say it like it need to be said. The only reason this boy hopped his ignorant ass off that damn stand to go hug this woman is because she was white. Some of you in that tether class are so goddamn suicidal to the point that you'll throw your lives away. You actually do believe that you're supposed to be hugging on the people that kill you. I'll never forget this. This is crazy. It's insanity. But see, I'm showing it to you today because, see, you need to understand what you're dealing with. And for my own co-immigrant family, this is what you're going to have to deal with in your community. We can't do it for you. We can't fix that type of mindset. That's something that's irreparably broken in someone for you to be able to do this. We wouldn't even know where to start to detangle that in your head to the point where somebody murders one of your family members and you want to hug them in court? See, I'm going to say it. Division from that is good. Your ass is suicidal if you're doing this. There's nothing to love about somebody that kills anybody in your family, especially unjustly. It's crazy. But hey, I got to let it continue. Notice how long this embrace is. This boy don't have no type of soul in him, man, that loved his brother, apparently. You would think these motherfuckers was finna go out on a date. Oh my God, you can't make this up. This is the shame in that community. This is what you're facing if you're gonna get your house in order. I hope you're taking a good look at this.
Racist home.
Now, see, again, just like I called them out, I didn't leave Tammy the Mammy Kemp off the hook because we saw what she did. And we gave her ass hell for that, and that marked her as a traitor to our community. You jumping your ass down off the stand to hug a damn convicted killer. I ain't never seen no white judge do that for no black defendant that was even just been accused of a crime, let alone been convicted of one. See, you black immigrants, you better pay attention because, see, you are going to tote your own weight when it comes to producing justice for your people. When we see you out there towing the line and producing justice, then we can talk about unity. We can't talk about unity if that's going to be the mindset of the majority of you. You want to go and hug up on your damn killers because they white and because of misuse, keyword misuse of religion. I am not saying religion in itself is a bad thing. Misuse of religion leads you to do that sickening display that we just seen. Because, see, being on code against racism and white supremacy is life or death. I want to show you something. For those of you who are black immigrants that still probably think that I'm just reaching because you know how y'all love to do that, I want you to listen to this news report right here and then get back to me and tell me if I'm reaching or not.
Homophobic and misogynist. Those were the words residents of Antioch used at a city council meeting tonight.
In fact, that's how they described text messages allegedly sent by city police officers that are now under investigation. NBC Bay Area's Emma Goss joins us live at Antioch City Hall. It was a little bit of a free-for-all there tonight.
It was, and tempers and emotions certainly boiled over public comment. And what I saw inside really was a city reckoning with what residents have said are years of discriminatory treatment by police that even Mayor Lamar Thorpe said has persisted in Antioch for far too long. It was a heated, at times chaotic, Antioch City Council meeting Tuesday. Mayor Lamar Thorpe briefly left the meeting, overcome with emotion. The central topic, offensive text messages sent between more than a dozen Antioch police officers over 2 years, uncovered by the FBI and obtained Tuesday by the East Bay Times. Messages like this one, where an officer wrote, "I'll bury that N in my fields." And yes, it was a hard R on purpose.
When you hear these text messages, this was in their heart. This is in their heart. And it's not just 17 individuals we're talking about. We're now talking about 24. 24. I'm not sweeping it under the rug.
The mayor said he supports Police Chief Stephen Ford's decision to hire an external investigator. For now, the chief said that any officers involved are not working on the streets. He said the exact number of officers under investigation has not been determined.
This is unfortunate. Let's not gloat in this. This is very, very unfortunate to the city, to this organization, and to the profession.
A 22-year-old community organizer and activist told the city council she was the subject of text messages between officers. She claims they sexualized her and used racist language.
You need to understand and educate yourself that the terms that you are using are not okay. And I'm honestly very ashamed to be a resident of Antioch.
Now, I got to pause this right here because, see, just like I'm getting on the black immigrants, I got to get on that one that just spoke. They don't need to be educated. It's who they are. They're white supremacists. Just like I'm telling the black immigrants, you better get that through your head. You white adjacent immigrants better get that through your head too. How you going to educate the inventors of something on it better than they already know? They don't need to be educated. It's not a matter of ignorance. We got sense enough to know that. This is life or death. When you play these games with these people, this is what you get. Salute to the brother Charlie A's for the cash out. And see, I'm showing you this here tonight because, see, we have to put it in context. When you hear foundational black Americans telling you, warning you, racism and white supremacy is not just here in America, it's global. But if you hear in this country, you see how it's in every facet of society, particularly these race soldiers and law enforcement. Okay? Go look up the FBI reports on this if you don't want to believe what I'm telling you just because I'm a foundational black American man. But see, you ignore our warnings at your peril. You see what happens when they all get on code, how they hate to punish each other. Look at what we had to go through to get that demonic piece of shit, Derek Chauvin, put away for the rest of his life where he belongs. And they still, I still stand on this to this day. He should have been charged with first-degree murder. Now, I'm going to debunk the whole, well, if it was premeditated, it was premeditated. I'm going to prove it to you. Derek Chauvin should have been hit with a first-degree murder charge when he murdered George Floyd in the cold-hearted, cowardly manner that he did. This man is in handcuffs, subdued by 4 officers. The minute that outsiders and people that were civilians started yelling that you gonna kill him, he can't breathe, and you kept your knee on his neck, it was premeditated. They didn't charge him with first-degree murder, though, see? But we still raise hell to make sure that they know, okay, either you gonna lock this motherfucker up or everything gonna burn. You black immigrant men are gonna have to get that coward out you. If you're not gonna do it to protect yourselves, damn, the children don't deserve protectors? I'm asking, do not the children of your lineage deserve protectors? We showing you the problem. It's not gonna go away just because you don't want to acknowledge the damn problem. It's here. Ignore it at your peril.
There are going to be some changes. Some of those changes may make people feel uncomfortable. I don't give a damn.
Thank you.
It's going to happen.
About time.
Because it's the right thing to do.
The city manager, city attorney, and the police chief have all assured the city council that an independent audit of these officers associated with the text messages is pending. But because this is also being investigated by the FBI, Police Chief Ford said that he couldn't comment on the details of an open investigation. Reporting live in Antioch, Emma Goss, NBC Bay Area News.
Emma, thank you.
So we have one hour.
So now you heard that report, right? I want you black immigrants to pay attention to this report that Brother Philip Scott is about to give because, see, I put this in here for a reason. And I'm going to let this play, and then I'm going to give my commentary on why it's an important addition to tonight's broadcast.
Our Nigerian sisters that live here in America that talked about when she went to school here that she actually learned about the history, of Black Americans. I want to hear what her take was.
Yo, somebody help me understand this. As a young Nigerian girl moving to America, history was always the one class that I hated with a passion. And that was because that was the first time I actually learned about the African American history. I learned about enslavement. So imagine me, a Black girl, learning this information about potential people from my country that were put through this. And this was the first time that I'm hearing about this. Culture shock, one. But I was filled with so much rage. I was filled with so much rage. Like, I couldn't understand it. And these people, I still can't understand the white rage. Because how are y'all for 400 years and then some, to this day, quite honestly, let's be quite honest. To this day, y'all enslaved Black folks, y'all killed them, y'all took them away from their family. At the end of the day, Black folks came to y'all and said, all we want is peace. All they wanted was peace, and y'all was mad, and y'all couldn't even give them that just off jump. And y'all incited violence and killed them some more after they wanted peace. Imagine somebody killing your family members for 400 years over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, all you wanted was peace. And they still chose violence. They still chose superiority complex. They still chose to enslave y'all till this day. And they're the ones that are trigger happy. And they're the ones that have fear in their hearts for Black folks. Just walking down the street, scares some white lady. I'm in confusion. I've always been in confusion. I do not understand. And with the rise of this Tennessee stuff and with the rise of everything going on in America, I am still in confusion as to how these people still got superiority complex and they still rule the world. I am in confusion. I'm surprised. All Black people wanted was peace. Imagine if Black people didn't want peace.
Now, before our brother Phil gives his commentary, here's the answer to the question that the young Nigerian sister was asking. Because, see, you got to understand, in their native countries, they don't teach them their own history. When they come here, you see what's going on in American schools today. They're taking the truth, which is American history of white supremacy, out the schools. So when they do finally come across a watered down version of it and get somewhat of an inkling of the truth of what happened to our ancestors, they're shocked and they sound like this sister. So see, let me show you something. Sisters like that, if they find our platforms over here in new Black media spaces and start learning, these are the ones that we can teach. These are the ones that we can help get on code. And they're going to be the future that's going to be able to change things. Because see, got to give it to them. The youth that sound like her, that genuinely did not know these things because their parents didn't teach them. And see, you can tell that her parents probably did not teach her about racism and white supremacy, probably told her all the stuff we've always heard. You different from them. You just go and do what you do. That's the Akata problem. I don't know. I can't confirm that. I'm just saying in general. And then when they find the truth, let me tell you one thing that I know about people that seek out the truth with a pure soul and a pure heart. It moves you to produce justice. So this is why we accept those of our brothers and sisters that are non-FBA that are on code, especially the youth. I get plenty of emails from all over the place, the Caribbean, the continent of Africa, Germany, wherever our Black immigrant brothers and sisters are abroad. They're watching our platforms and they're learning from us. This is why it's important for us to control the narrative of our own story and make sure the truth about our history is told. Because see, if you over here in the belly of the beast, you can't afford not to know what's going on. And then you end up in a situation like our young brother Ralph Yarl there. What I'm saying to you is this. Those of you who are Black immigrants that keep on looking at yourself as separate and apart from us, that's fine. You can do that. But one thing you better do is teach your children about the realities of racism and white supremacy in this country. Want y'all to listen to the commentary that Brother Phil is about to make here, because he's going to make an excellent point.
Now, as you heard the sister, she was very, upset and could not understand that everything that we've been through, only thing that we have collectively wanted from the white supremacists is just to be left alone, to let us just live our lives, just do our thing. They go their way, we go our way. It's cool. But no, they never could let us just live in peace and tranquility, because these people don't know how to be at peace with nobody. They couldn't even be at peace with themselves. That's what people have to understand. They don't know peace. They can't broker peace deals. Everything that they do, it has to be something where they're being oppressive to someone. You understand?
I was filled with so much rage. Like, I couldn't understand it. And these people, I still can't understand the white rage. Because how are y'all for 400 years and then some? To this day, quite honestly, let's be quite honest. To this day, y'all enslaved black folks. Y'all killed them. Y'all took them away from their family. At the end of the day, black folks came to y'all and said, all we want is peace. All they wanted was peace, and y'all was mad, and y'all couldn't even give them that just off jump.
Of course, many people, if you start studying the history of this country, anyone would get upset. Anyone would be like, who is these people? This is why people like Ron DeSantis do not want the history taught, because as even people that come to this country and they learn the true history of America, the humanity of anybody would say, man, these people are wrong. Man, y'all do need to give these people reparations. Y'all do need to make some repairs for black Americans, because look at what they went through. You understand? And when she said that people came from her country was enslaved, which is true. There's a lot of black Americans that have Nigerian blood, whether they admit that or not. They do have Nigerian blood, because there are people that was in that area where Nigeria is at today that was taken in the slave trade. Everybody has some sort of percentage of Nigerian blood.
So imagine me, a black girl, learning this information about potential people from my country that were put through this. And this was the first time that I'm hearing about this. And y'all incited violence and killed them some more after they wanted peace. Imagine somebody killing your family members for 400 years over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, all you wanted was peace. And they still chose violence. They still chose superiority complex. They still chose to enslave y'all till this day.
So, of course, when you say that people in my area, that's what she is relating to. Black Americans and Nigerians do have some blood, you know what I'm saying? They do, period. Now, you may have some people who immigrate here and say some ungodly things and disrespectful things about black Americans. But like I always say, is that if you go to the country itself and see how you treat it versus how some, not all. Now I'm talking about to the remedial people in the back of the room and the slow people that's not going to hear me say some, not all. I'm talking to you in the back. That little silly thing that we see, go on today that, like I said, is orchestrated by design, because the white supremacists like to keep up, divide, and conquer. Because what if black people got together all over the world? What kind of status we'll be in then? And that's what they don't want. They do not want us getting together and do not want us working with each other and taking a stand with each other. They do not want that. But the black America, like I said, the time is coming where black America is just even tired. And they just kind of apathetic anyway with them, This is why you won't get black Americans to be so gung-ho to go fight for them no more, to defend their ideals and all of that. You won't get them because what have we got in return? I mean, black people still treated horribly. Everybody throughout the world saw that with George Floyd, how we were treated. People throughout the world saw the Michael Brown. People throughout the world saw Freddie Gray and anything else that black people have went through. People all over the world have seen a great human rights violations that's been done to black people. And like the sister said, they're still walking around with a superiority complex. They're walking around mad at us like we did them something, right? Which we didn't do them anything. This is why their thoughts about us is purely demonic. It's demonic in nature. And there's nothing godly about them. How they gonna talk about they so-called evangelical Christians, but they have the heart and mind of Satan? How?
And at the end of the day, all you wanted was peace. And they still chose violence. They still chose superiority complex. They still chose to enslave y'all till this day. And they're the ones that are trigger happy. And they're the ones that have fear in their hearts for black folks. Just walking down the street scares some white lady. I'm in confusion. I've always been in confusion. I do not understand. And with the rise of this Tennessee stuff and with the rise of everything going on in America, I am still in confusion as to how these people still got superiority complex.
These same people were talking about going to church and then going to buy some tickets so they can watch the torture of a black person. You got to have the mind of the devil to do something like that. But y'all let me know what y'all think what this sister is talking about here, because anyone that truly learns American history, you're going to get angry. You're going to get so angry. And this is what's going to make you even more angry. You literally see the same mindset today. It's not like that mindset was just at that time period and it went away. No, it's still like that today. They still have they demonic mind against black people. They want to justify everything they did. They really believe that their presidents and founders who are literally violators of women, children, and men. You know what I mean by violate? Those who are pedos and everything else. Those are great people. Oh, they were great. You have to be a certified devil to think that those people are great.
Now, you heard that, right? And I included that for a reason because, see, again, this is why we do what we do over here in the black media. We try to make sure that we educate you on exactly what racism and white supremacy is. So if you are not from over here and you are a younger continental African, Caribbean person, okay, or if you even an Afro-Latino person and you actually got your mind right to the point where you realize that this isn't something you can just sweep under the rug, even if your parents tried to teach you that way, we give you this information so that if you're out there and you with your friends, then they decide to go into an all-white neighborhood, you might be the one that save everybody like, hey, no, we don't need to go over here. No, I know that we got friends over here. Let's tell them to meet us over where we're at, where we know everybody's going to be safe. See, this is the reason why we have to do this, because, see, in case they still think that I'm reaching, and I know, family, any of you over here would say, well, nah, nobody can really be able to argue with what you've just shown here tonight. No, you can never underestimate the mind of a coward or a fool. I'm going to show you something that we know very well here in Georgia, okay? When it comes to the mind of the white supremacists, especially the race soldiers. If you run around here telling your kids that ain't no racism and white supremacy, I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm going to let this white race soldier tell you. A lot of y'all probably remember this. If you don't, here's a reminder.
The video shows a Cobb County, Georgia police officer talking to a woman in a car he pulled over on a traffic stop. She's unwilling to move her hands, afraid, she says, of getting shot, and he tells her, don't worry.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen any white people get killed?
Though it happened a year ago, the video is just now coming to light. The officer, Lieutenant Greg Abbott, has been on the force nearly 30 years. His lawyer says he was, quote, trying to gain compliance by using the passenger's own statements. But the county's new police chief said today that what happened was unacceptable.
I don't know what's in his heart, but I certainly know what came out of his mouth. The recommendation is to terminate his employment from the Cobb County Police Department.
The date stamp on the video, July 10th, 2016.
Stay with me.
Just 4 days after cell phone video went viral showing the moments after a white policeman killed a black driver, Philando Castile, in Minnesota. As shocking as the Georgia video is,
remember, we only kill black people.
Leaders of the black community in the county say the chief's decisive action is reassuring.
We have hope here in Cobb that we have a chief and leadership that is serious about bringing this department to be one of the better ones in the nation.
The police chief says the community and his own officers expected an appropriate response. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Now, family, I saved that for the end of the broadcast for a reason. Because, see, that little Sambo that was talking about, oh, he had such faith in the police chief at the time when he made that decision to fire him. Nah, they don't get fired. They just get transferred. Because, see, those of us on the grassroots, it is not enough that you just take them off the street or fire them. You have to strip them of their peace officer certification. It's called the post certification. Strip them of that and ban them from holding any type of law enforcement position anywhere in the country. That's what we call justice when it comes to that. If you hadn't killed a black person like that yet, and you said something like that, we only kill black people, and the other reports that you seen earlier here with those Antioch police officers out there in the Bay Area, nah, not just fired, demand that their post certification is permanently revoked. That's what needs to happen, because if not, they can just go somewhere else and get another job and be right back on the streets. Brought this broadcast to you here tonight, so hopefully for those that have ears to listen, to understand that racism and white supremacy is a deadly threat. Again, my condolences and my sentiments go out to the family of Ralph Yarl that actually loves the boy, because if you was one of them that I show here tonight, I know damn well you don't love the boy. All you're trying to think about is getting a damn bag. But if he does have family members that love him, that wasn't on the media, doing all that book dancing and buffooning, I say to you this: the men in your community have work to do. The ball's in your court now. You got the blueprint. We've shown you how to get out here and put in work. It's your time to pick that up for the sake of the future of your community and your lineage, your children. And I'm going to say it like this: don't care who gets offended. If you are a man and you don't have it in you to stand up and protect the future of your community, you ain't worth a damn, and you really don't deserve to survive. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Salute to everybody that joined us over here tonight. I want you to protect yourselves and your children. And remember that this is a war, and we can't afford to play games with these people. That's it. Salute. Black first. Our brother Tariq should be live now, and I will see you all in future content.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tariq Nasheed, and I'm inviting you to the Foundational Black American Expo going down May 27th, 2023, right here in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's going down at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and this is an empowerment event that you can invite the whole family to. We're going to have seminars and workshops that discuss things like business development, education, health and wellness, self-defense, and some of you businesses out there, we have vending opportunities where you can promote your businesses. Plus, we're going to have so many phenomenal speakers and guests. We got people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's coming down, Professor James Small, Sister Vicky Dillard, Riza Islam, Dr. Kaba Kamene, Ben X, Tahuti Mayad Ra, Erica Lachey, Red Pill, Blue Pill, so many people. So, get your tickets now at FBAExpo.com. That's FBAExpo.com. We will see you here.